You're listening to the Magic Our Way podcast with Kevin, Danny, Eli, and Rachel. Oh, I love the way their foul little minds work. Yeah.
Jumbo, everyone.
Harambe.
And welcome to another edition of
The Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
The Magic Our Way podcast.
They are truly magical and whatnot.
Asante Sana, everyone. You're listening to the Magic Our Way podcast from New Orleans, Louisiana. And on this show, we invite you to feel the libations.
Feel it, feel it.
We are artistic buffs talking about Disney stuff, and this is a show in which every opinion is welcome. MagicOurWay.com is where you can find us. For this show, we discuss Elemental, Pixar's offering for the summer 2023 blockbuster movie season. And look, this isn't your typical polished practice Pixie Dust and Disney podcast. No way. We are not in Walt Disney World every day trying to snag one of those new Figment ear headbands.
That's right, Kev. We're here to drink, talk some Disney, and cheer on the windbreakers. Toot toot.
Woo! That's right. So you guys just have to listen up while we drink it up.
My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
I'm Eli.
I'm Rachel.
And of course, we always hope that everyone out there in Mohican Land had a great week. How's everybody doing in studio today? Yes.
Been a quiet day.
Yeah.
Quiet day. Not
Easy.
a whole lot going on.
It's just too hot.
Yeah.
You know, it's so
It
hot
is.
outside. I saw the devil drinking Gatorade. That's how bad it was.
That's right. That's hot.
Not here.
No?
We got cold rain.
Oh, can you send some of that down here?
Yeah.
Yes, we'll
Yeah.
take some of that, please.
Yeah, it's like our temperature's been in the upper 90s and like the feel like temperature's like over 100, like 105, 110.
103 is what we had in the car today.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. I don't. It's like August 2 months early.
Oh, God.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary.
I'm waiting for a hurricane to pop up.
I go through 3 shirts a day at this point.
Oh, yuck.
That's sweaty.
Ooh,
Yes.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Well, I'm smoking, baby.
That's it. That's it. Don't hide the truth from them. Don't hide the truth from them.
Man, you too hot to handle.
Too cold to hold.
There it is.
Oh man. Well, I had a fun. Well, I mean, work was work, but I had a fun week because my youngest learned how to make a banana cabana drink.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Wow. Should you be admitting this on air that your kids are making your cocktails for you?
My youngest, even, my kid, the other two don't really care, but for some reason, the youngest took interest in me making this little concoction. Because, I always do the thing. It's like, all right, 1 part this, 2 parts this, 3 part this. And I've been pretty consistent with it. And she's like, one day, like, what was it, Tuesday? She's like, oh, Daddy, can I make you drink? I'm like, sure. Who am I to refuse a child's wish
to help
to
you.
want to help me
Child labor.
a drink after, child labor. Yeah. Why should I
That's
deny
a
that?
child labor of love is what it is.
So she did the thing, I helped her with the bottles and whatnot. And it was kind of interesting. And so she was making the drinks. I was like, cool, great. This was Tuesday. Wednesday comes around. Daddy, can I make you that drink? I'm like, sure, baby. All right. So she makes me the drink again. She does it pretty good. Each and every day I'm helping her out. And then Friday, end of the week, 3-day weekend, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
For Juneteenth and stuff. And she asked me to make a drink. I'm like, sure. And this time she does it on her own without even me helping. I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
Wow.
And then
Bonus.
she's like, oh, Daddy, this mango rum smells really good. If there's no alcohol, I would totally drink this. I was like, okay, baby, yeah, great. Like when you're a little older, maybe I could hook you up, and I could take care of you. But for now, just enjoy sniffing the mango rum.
Yeah, fair
So,
enough.
was she like Tom Cruise in Cocktail? Like she was flipping the bottle?
Sorry.
How
about that drink, Daddy?
Were you wrapping me up? Like
No. I think I was picking up my drink and my pinky tapped the soundboard.
Oh, I thought you
accidentally.
were saying that was the song she was playing while she was making the drink.
she might
it
as
is
well.
a good cocktail song.
Yeah.
I mean, to your point, Daddy, that she wasn't like Tom Cruise in Cocktail, but she was very scientific. It was very Bill Nye. She had the measuring cup, and she was making sure she didn't go past the line, and she's being very exact.
Oh, I'm the same way when I make cocktails. Yeah.
I was very impressed. Made a really good banana cabana. I'm like, thank you.
Now you gotta
Wow,
be careful.
Very nice.
You gotta
I
be
figured I had a
careful.
1 in 3 shot in one of my kids being able to make me a drink.
I like
The other
that.
two,
Next party we have, I'm going to invite your daughter over here to Tin Bar, okay?
but that's all
Yeah,
she
you
can
guys-
do. All she can do right now is make cabanas. But maybe I can expand her menu by the time that happens.
Start them young. Start them young.
Start 'em young. That's right. I mean, it's New Orleans.
Get
so,
them
I mean,
muddling going.
I was going to say, this is a great skill for her to have in New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
This is
Plenty
true.
of good employment later.
Yeah, no,
Sure.
you're no doubt. And then she can handle her liquor, and I don't never have to worry about her.
See, the smart thing is that I give her props on this because they're like, let's say, all three of your daughters do something, they all gonna get punished. She will look at you and be like, hey, how about that drink, Dad?
That's a good point.
Just put that punishment aside, Dad.
Are you kidding? In a few years, she's going to be working at Coyote Ugly.
Oh, she would love that. Water? No water here. She would absolutely love dousing somebody with water. But anyway, I digress. So that was my week. It was
That's
quite
pretty
enjoyable.
cool,
Yeah, it
though.
was nice.
That's cool.
How about your week, Rachel?
I finished school. We're done with kids. I have like
Yay.
a teacher day on Monday, but that's it.
A teacher
Nothing
day.
about going to Disney World.
Yeah. Oh, I did that too.
Oh, yeah, that thing. Yes.
Yeah,
top
my
on.
son. Yeah, we took a weekend trip, and real short, just 2 days, and then we were right back. But it was great. I'll have a trip report coming up on that. We did the Roundup barbecue, so if people are interested in hearing about that new offering, I now know a lot more about it. And we stayed at Pop Century and had a really nice stay. I don't know. Have y'all ever ended up getting a accessible room? We got a handicap accessible room.
No,
No.
I don't think so.
So that was a little different, but I didn't complain because, I guess it's a little preview of my trip report. But initially, we were assigned the actual farthest away room at Pop Century. You know what I mean? Like as far away from the main building as you could possibly be. That was the room we got. Top floor, farthest building, farthest room. And this was going to be the first time we went to Disney World where I didn't bring a stroller. And I thought probably not the time to have my son have to walk to the farthest possible room, his first trip without a stroller. So
Wow.
they moved us into an accessible room. And I felt like at that point I had used my wild cards. I was like,
Your one wish.
cool, whatever. We'll just say, yeah, that's fine. So everything was short. Because it's for somebody who's in a wheelchair. But it was actually great because my 6-year-old could reach everything.
Oh, that's
Oh,
good.
that's cool, actually. A perk.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to hear all about it.
Yeah.
We'll be
Same.
covering that very, very soon.
Yeah. I can't
Yeah.
Look forward definitely to hearing about that. And we definitely hope that all the fathers out there had a great Father's Day this past weekend. By the time you listen to this, it'll be after that. So, yeah, hopefully you guys had a good one. We're recording this on the Saturday, the day before the Father's Day Eve, in which we're recording this show.
Yeah. I'm wishing all three of you a very happy Father's Day tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And we
very
wish
much.
Josh a happy
Yes.
Father's Day tomorrow.
Yeah.
as
Definitely
well.
to Josh as well.
Yes, definitely. All right, guys, look, anyway, enough of our jibber jabber. Let's go explore the elements of the universe. Here we are in the hub, our main topic segment of the show, and it's time for a movie review. Woo-hoo! On the show, we discuss Pixar's Elemental, which was released in the United States on Friday, June 16, 2023, as part of Disney's blockbuster summer movie season. And Disney describes this movie like so, and I quote, Disney and Pixar's Elemental is an all-new original feature film set in Element City, where fire, water, land, and air residents live together. The story introduces Ember, a tough, quick-witted, and fiery young woman whose friendship with a fun, sappy, go-with-the-flow guy named Wade challenges her beliefs about the world they live in. So there we go, guys. Usually when we do these movie reviews, we do a 2 parts, non-spoiler, spoiler fill, but I'm going to hit the spoiler fill music just in case we have to go into it, but we're going to offer our overall thoughts, how we felt about Pixar's latest offering and all that. So just in case you're worried about getting spoilers, here is your warning. Spoilers, just in case we do it, but we'll probably go into it. But here we go. This is our discussion and the whole thing. I know 3 of us saw it, and Rachel, you hadn't seen it yet.
I haven't yet. It looks so cute, though. I'm definitely going to.
Okay, well,
I
good,
can't
good.
wait.
And just full disclosure to the audience, we're not ruining anything for you. You said spoilers don't really ruin things for you. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm okay. To be honest, the draw for me for this movie, I think, is going to be taking my kids. So I'm just excited to take them and see what they think.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the things. My kids wanted to see this. I'm like, okay, sure, why not? And it's funny because just before that, quick aside, I bought the Mario movie, Super Mario Brothers movie. I bought it
Yes.
at home to watch at home in my underwear and didn't have to get dressed. Popped our own popcorn. It was very nice.
Perfect.
I feel like you overshared there a bit.
No, it's okay.
okay.
It's like, and nowadays it's like if I have to put on pants to go see a movie, it's like I have to really think about this.
Yeah. Yeah. I 100%.
It's
I
so
totally
nice.
agree.
Kevin is not wearing pants right now. Whenever we record, y'all can't see.
Oh,
the
well,
bottom.
that's the other, when I
breaking the
record
fourth-
the podcast,
Yeah.
no pants.
breaking
Yeah,
the fourth wall.
'cause
Yeah,
it's
that's
just-
Yeah.
that's
well,
what,
that is just hot in South Louisiana right
Yes,
now,
it is.
so I don't know what the hell's going on.
That's what we call scratching to the oldies.
Yeah, thank you.
But
thank
no,
you.
I'm with y'all. Yes, as comfortable as you can be, the better.
Cool. So what do we think? What do we think about this Elementals movie? Who wants to start?
Well, let
off?
me put it like this, because y'all were just talking about y'all's kids. I went to my kid trying to convince my kid to go see The Flash.
Oh, that's on our list.
And she was like, Daddy, I'll go see it if you really want to, but I don't really want to see it like that much, because we had a daddy-daughter day, and that's how we ended up seeing it. And I was like, well, what do you want to do, babe? And she's like, well, what about Elemental? Can we go see that? And I was like, yeah, okay, fine, sure. It's a new Disney movie. I can't complain about that so much. But I really wanted to see The Flash. And Eli and I actually snuck into the theater.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, we
Nice.
snuck in, saw some of The Flash. We saw Batman and Wonder Woman.
Wonder
and-
Woman.
Yeah.
Flash.
Oh.
Pretty cool scene. I was like, let's just stay right
I
here.
know, I know.
That's on our list. Yeah, for sure. We want to see that. We want to see Spider-Man, the next universe thing. And we also want to see that Kraken kid movie thing.
Oh, yeah.
And now Barbie. Apparently, we saw the preview for the Barbie movie.
Oh, I haven't
Yes,
seen
that looks
that.
good too.
What's the Kraken thing?
Teenage Kraken. Some
Teenage
girls named
Kraken.
Teenage
It's like
Kraken.
when Disney released Little Mermaid, they released that.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's their answer to Little Mermaid, apparently. It's some teenage Kraken.
Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid is the villain in the Kraken movie.
So they're answering the Little Mermaid 35 years too late, or is this
It's
like...
a DreamWorks.
Yeah, it's DreamWorks. So all the mermaids are like the evil people. And the Kraken's
Yeah,
the good people.
They're the pretty people that no one can identify.
Well,
with.
Disney still did that with Stranger Tides, right?
Yeah.
They
Well, I
did
feel
Little
like
Mermaid.
this summer, like all the studios are making up for lost time because all of a sudden there's like tons of movies I want to see in the theater. And I feel like it's been years since there's been this many movies at once that I've actually been interested in.
Really? Is there a Marvel movie coming out this summer? Because I'm trying to
I think it was Guardians was supposed to be the Marvel movie.
That was
You know,
the
it like
monster
super
song.
early.
Well, and Spider-Verse.
Oh, Spider-Verse. That's true, yes.
All right. So to get back to the movie itself, yeah, I'm trying to think of how to start this out.
Carefully.
Yeah.
Well, I guess like here's what I want. I'm just from seeing the trailer and the preview stuff and the art. I guess I'm just interested in like what's the central conflict?
There is no bad guy in this movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a movie about interracial dating, plumbing, and poor city planning. Is
Interesting.
that's the best I can do.
So what you're saying is it's a movie that is of its time.
Yes. Well, I don't know if it's of its time. I mean, it seems like we did the interracial thing with West Side Story.
Soul Man.
Jungle Fever was 30 years ago.
I did love
mean,
me some Jungle
but
Fever. Yeah.
It seemed like they wanted to make a movie about interracial dating, and they kind of threw in everything else. It was
a
like,
metaphor for it.
it's like, yeah, but we're Pixar. It's got to be funny. It's got to have action. It's got to appeal to kids. So we got to throw in a bunch of stuff. But that's really the heart of this. But there is really no bad. The bad guy in this movie is, I guess, prejudices. But there's really
There is
not.
that. I could see that, yeah.
But there's really isn't anybody that's like racist. I mean, it's weird to say the word because it's a freaking cartoon movie about elements.
but nobody's
Yeah.
trying to stop them. Yeah.
In this world, fire is like the least acceptable element, I suppose, amongst the other
way.
elements.
Yeah, that's a fair good way to
And
put
so
it.
fire kind of gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
And so there are people, and even fire have prejudice against other elements. Like fire hates water, that kind of thing. So anyway, that's kind of what it is. But there really isn't a whole lot in the way of a central conflict. I'll say this. I've questioned at times if I'm just getting too old to appreciate the Disney Pixar movies, since I really haven't seen one since Moana that's really resonated with me. I mean, Onward came...
Moana is not Pixar.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm thinking, we say Disney Pixar, but I mean, really, who are we fooling? It's kind of all the same
Yeah, it's all
thing
the
at this
same.
point. But Onward was the closest thing I can think of. The last time I saw a Disney/Pixar movie that I can think of where the concept was cool, the visuals were cool, the plot was completely original, but it's still a highly flawed film, but I still enjoyed it. Moana was just perfect across the board. This one, like, again, I'm watching this thing, and I'm not really digging it, and I'm kind of questioning, am I just too old for this? And we saw the movie with a 14-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And about an hour in, they were all like, how much longer is this? And that was not a good sign. So I'm sorry,
No.
Pixar, or who am I kidding? Disney. It's not us, it's you.
Well, not only that, but the same kids saw the movie with us and asked us questions after the movie about why this and that. And so that's never a good sign of storytelling. It's one thing if you fall asleep in the movie. It's another thing if you were awake, watched the movie, and said, I don't get why that happened. And then you're having a discussion about that.
Eddie was like looking to walk out. He's like, y'all ready to go? I'm like, let's just
no.
go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy, yeah.
And it's sad because Pixar used to kind of be the gold standard in animation. And an opening night for a Pixar release, that was like a must-see event. But when we saw Elemental, we saw it on opening night, and we were able to buy 6 tickets together an hour before the show started. And when we got there, the theater was mostly empty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah,
no
my
one
theater's pretty
was
much empty.
watching Elemental whatsoever. And I think that probably because the marketing wasn't very good. I don't think I saw much in the way of a trailer. I think the first trailer I saw was before we left. But yeah, it's a flawed movie. What we saw was a flawed movie, and that's not to say it was a completely movie, but it wasn't anything special. It's like it's actually kind of forgettable. And for Pixar, again, gold standard, that's not good. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, again, I kind of formulated these thoughts into non-spoilerish kind of thing, so I'm not really saying too much about what happens in the movie, but it's just it's kind of a boring story to begin with. I mean,
well, no, here's the thing. So for essentially you took away from that because I was wondering about how that would relate to people that hadn't gone through something like this. But my kids of similar age, they loved it. They loved it.
Really?
Yeah, they absolutely. And for me, it's like, so for Pixar things, Coco is my standard. If it doesn't match up to Coco, then it's like, as of late, Coco's definitely my standard.
love Coco, yeah.
Yeah, I'd watch that movie over and over again. And I might watch this over and over again. I'm definitely not going to go back into the theater just to watch it again. Coco, I did. I watched it twice with no hesitation. This one, I'm like, if I had other better choices, I would do it. Even if it popped up on Disney Plus, it's like, I'd watch it if the kids put it on, but I wouldn't like intentionally go see it. That wouldn't be like my primary thing. So it's like I liked it, but I didn't absolutely love it to the level of Coco, And so it's like the story I got of it is of being a first generation immigrant. I mean, child of an immigrant in the States. That's the story that I got from it. And so there's not really any bad guy, to Danny's point, but the thing that the struggle that the main character had to deal with was dealing with the expectations of the people that just came from the old country versus the things that you're trying to do in the new country. And trying to please both worlds, and then maybe reconciling that maybe hey, I'm not this person that my parents want me to be or expect me to be, and I might just do this. Versus somebody's saying that, hey, you're actually really good at this particular thing, and you should pursue that. So I totally related to this movie, because I went through a similar thing. She has a really good talent to be a glassmaker of some sort. I don't know what that means in that particular world. Me, I had a really good talent to be a musician, still do. My parents wanted me to be a doctor or something, or an engineer or something that really made money to establish myself in the new world. And so, the same thing with the main character taking over the store. It was something that was stable, that was business that would keep them going and have them prosper in the new country that it moved to.
See, I'd be cool with that if it wasn't for the fact they just kind of threw that in out of nowhere. Like up until that point, I think it was halfway through the movie where you even got any glimpse into the fact that maybe that's not what she wanted to do.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole story about the immigrant thing, I picked up right off that. Right
Yeah. The immigrant part of it, absolutely. The fact that she wasn't looking to follow in her family's footsteps, that was the part. And again, I'm trying to be guarded, but I know you said spoilers. But the whole idea of not that just kind of seemed to come out of nowhere. All of a sudden, halfway through the movie, they're offering her a job, and she's like, you know what? I don't think I want to do this for a living. We're like, wait, what? And that was kind of the main problem with the movie to me, is it just seemed to kind of make up the plot as it went.
But, I can kind of see that because it takes you some convincing when you're in that world, when you are immersed in like an immigrant mindset where you got to have a stable life in order to make something of anything in this new country, that you actually might have something else that's other, like not to be stereotypical Filipino, but I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not anything of that kind of ilk that would say to my family, hey, you're successful. No, I'm a drummer that I happen to do pretty damn good, and I make money off of that. So I saw where she was going with that as far as, but there was, to your point, there was no indication early on of there was that kind of struggle.
Right.
Somebody had to point it out to her like, hey, you're actually pretty good at this. You ought to consider this. and all of a sudden it's like, boom, it's like, oh, I'm really good at this. Like, really, you didn't know that you were decent at that? I knew early on, I was like, hey, I like drumming. I like doing this thing.
Right, like give us a scene where she's in her room and she's made all these glass blown structures.
That would have been better.
And you're like, oh my God, she has a talent. In the movie, you only saw her do it when she needed to do it to patch up the pipes, because really, that's
fix
it.
the store.
Or the store.
With the glass, she put the glass over the counter. That's it.
So I'm guessing she's good with glass.
She's good with glass. She's very good with
Okay.
glass. She takes pieces of glass and she melts them together, and then she...
No, but better yet, she takes sand and fires it up and turns it into glass.
Ooh.
There's a part in the movie, literally, where she's like, picks up all these pieces of glass, she melts them together, she blows into it, the thing comes out, and I turned to Eli after she makes this huge race. I said, nice blowjob.
I died.
Hey!
That's why I'm
Laughing.
chuckling loud, because I died. Like, I felt bad for the two guys sitting next to me who was listening to the movie, because I laughed hard on that.
Oh no.
I don't even want to say that it was a bad movie completely. Like, I love the artistic style of this movie. The visuals.
That was great, huh?
Yeah, oh God, the visuals were amazing. The Elemental City was like just visually engaging. It's kind of like the place that you would, if you were playing a video game, this is like an open world video game, you wanted to explore it.
And we've come to expect that ever since, to me, ever since Coco, we expect that from Pixar now.
Coco inside, yeah, like I like those things. Like, and it's a cool concept. It really is. It's just a shame, like, the city makes no sense. It just makes no sense.
Yeah,
no. It seems overly hazardous for all these elements to be sharing the same place. That seems to be the central, like, hey, if we're in the same place, we might accidentally kill each other. Like, you've got a train that passes through that
spills
just
water.
splashes water
No.
everywhere.
Stupidest thing I ever saw in my life.
And that's what I'm saying. Is like, it's just poor city planning, and that's what leads to the trouble that they have, because the water spills out and there's a dam with a crack in it. So anyway, yeah, it's like it just kept happening every single time. It's like, okay, we've moved on from the plumbing issue. They solved nope, it goes right back to the plumbing again. The pipes break again. The pipes kept freaking breaking.
Yeah.
It just never stopped. And you're like, can we move on? Is somebody breaking the pipe? I told Eli, like, midway through, it's like, it's got to be the city supervisor person that was at the Windbreakers game.
Oh, the little cloud person?
Yeah, she's got to be the bad guy who's making sure that this doesn't get fixed. Because why does this keep happening? Like, this just randomly keeps happening. They keep fixing it, and it breaks. And they keep fixing it, and it breaks. And it keeps happening.
Oh, it's all to reinforce the father's prejudice of water, which I thought was very weak.
Yeah.
I didn't care for that much at all.
I didn't like. I was gonna say, like, as an overall thing, it's like I was hoping when I saw the movie that I had low expectations and that would maybe surprise me, but it was just good that I kept them low. For the most part, I took it as there is an element, I think, of race or culture. Oh, yeah, I didn't.
Hey!
No, pun intended.
Nice,
yeah.
nice.
Secret word.
But also, I think it was a matter of classism, right? Because when they had the city, which visually, yes, to Danny's point, was very awe-inspiring to see, but it was also too much, like, for your eyes to really go ahead and say, oh, I'm focusing on this or that.
It was so
just
beautiful.
boom.
You know how they always do the making of, like, the art of Elemental, like the art of Coco, the art of Inside Out?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's one. I would definitely buy the book of that just to see the concept drawings, the way they've rendered it, to really kind of resonate, because the city is beautiful.
Yeah,
You
the
can
artists.
get
Yeah, the
lost
artists
in
that
it.
worked on that are absolutely amazing.
Oh,
To Danny's
100%.
point, is you guys did an incredible job.
Yeah.
But on the visual note, though, the only thing that I thought was really weird, which is the biggest part of the movie, is how the fire people look. Because it seemed like it almost looked like 2D drawing over a 3D painting. You know what I'm
Interesting.
saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
if they went and saw the land, like, there was this little kid that would hit on the girl and he would pull plants out of his armpit and stuff.
Flowers,
like,
yeah.
And I was like, that's a little gross, but okay.
Yeah.
That's a
Yes.
back move on your part, Mr. Land Kid.
Yeah, but this is the second movie which had a young boy just trying to be
cool.
cool.
and
Like
grow
Moana
up.
was the last time they had somebody like that. I'm like, really, we're going back to this?
I mean, yeah, they tried, but
But props to that dude for growing his armpit hair.
against a person that can set you on fire, absolutely. But every other character, the water, the clouds, every other character in there looked like they fit in the world, like, visually. But the fire people did not. They just looked like hand drawn to me.
I see what
You
you're
know?
saying.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah,
not just they were animated cool when she's running around, but it just didn't look like it fit. Like, if it's a Pixar movie, if something's rendered realistically, it's all rendered like that.
Yeah, I guess one could argue is like maybe they set that they did that to make them completely separate from the rest of the world.
It was definitely a purposeful choice.
But at the same time, it's like when they went to that game or whatever. I don't know if it was a football game or whatever. It looked like
that
a basketball in the air. It looked like Quidditch with basketball hoops. They had fire people in the audience, so I guess obviously they weren't terribly ostracized.
Yeah.
You know, it's just I have no idea.
I did like the wave move. That's the only props I really seriously would give that movie.
Oh, the wave was cool.
The wave was
I thought that was cute.
Yeah, but I would say just the fact that you have that Claude kid hitting on Ember the entire time goes to show like the prejudice doesn't run as deep as you would.
The old school,
at least
country.
with the kids, yeah.
At least with the younger generation.
kids, the people that moved here. There's nothing like that. But
No, and that's why I say classism more so than race or culture clash, whatever.
And the premise of a city full of different elements trying to figure out how to coexist is really, really promising. And one of the things that made me be like, okay, cool, let's go check this out. But the problem is it just never really quite delivers on that promise. The whole movie just kind of feels disconnected. You know, like they're just making up a plot as it goes along.
Well, they're using using that as a background to whatever plot they were trying to do.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think they really cared about having a plot.
No.
I really don't. I think they wanted to say something about,
They had a message. Yeah.
you know, dating interracially and you
Fighting
know,
the culture and going.
not letting your parents choose your path for you. I think it was a movie with more of a message than a story, I would say. It was very message centric and not so much, hey, I'm going on a ride here and this is going to be fun. And I might learn something along the way.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. You know, as a child of immigrants that came in, it's like I can relate to the movie, but like Pixar movies used to relate to everybody. So unless you had my particular view, I took away a different little piece, but still, as I mentioned, it wasn't on the level of Coco or anything else as far as storytelling. So, I mean, there's something to be said about that.
Yeah, and I'm sure my age on this one, but when we all were teens, there was always like I would akin this to like a John Hughes film, like The Breakfast Club or something, where in other words, you got like teen angst, and it's like, well, I can't be with you because my dad doesn't want you here, and you know, I can't be with you because I'm from this rich water family, but you don't really get that.
It seemed like a very odd message for a kid's movie. You know, now that he says that, I'm picking up on that. Yeah, it really does seem like, you know, this is for kids, right? Y'all basically making a movie about dating and the hatred that people have towards people of different cultures, races. And that's, it's heavy. It is very heavy on that.
Yes.
But, you know, if it empowers somebody to pursue that just because they just love a person for themselves, then good for them. But that's fine.
Well, right. But the people it would empower are probably too old to watch this movie.
You mean to understand what they're trying to convey?
No, I mean, like, if by the time you're dating, you're probably around 15, 16, 17 years old, I would suppose. And this is a movie, I mean, it's a movie about there's a lot of fart jokes in the movie. It's a kid's movie.
Well, you know what's funny is like I turned to my daughter, I was like, I wonder what would happen if the fire people farted.
I wondered what would happen if Ember and Wade had a baby. Would it be steam?
Yeah, dude. I told my daughter they would be a cloud, because essentially that's what a cloud is, right?
Yeah,
it's the right temperature. It's the right temperature plus moisture becomes a cloud. I figured they have a cloud baby.
So when it cries, it rains. That's what's going on there.
Yeah, you know.
Well, that was the other major problem with the movie. I hated Wade.
Yeah,
I liked Ember a lot.
I could see
she
that.
was great. Wade was freaking annoying as hell.
He had no spine, and that's not because he was made of water.
Like, I watch it, like, there's no way conceivably that any woman would have ever fallen for this guy.
I agree. Totally agree.
Yeah, that is kind of wild.
He's got no game?
No game. Like, she spends 20 minutes, okay, because this is spoilers, right?
Yes, it's
She
spoilers.
spends 20 minutes chasing him down. The whole movie starts because he accidentally gets sucked into her piping, which is weird.
Yeah, I saw that in the trailer.
Yes. And...
yeah!
He accidentally gets sucked into her piping. They meet, and he's like, oh, well, this isn't up to code, which is so weird because they said later in the movie that there shouldn't have been water going to any fire town houses anyway because water can kill them. So I don't know why she wouldn't be up to code. So he writes her up, and he starts running away. And she's pleading with him, wait, no, stop, come back, don't do this. And he's running from her. He's running. It's like a 10 to 15-minute chase sequence where she just doesn't quite get there. And then finally he turns in the complaints on her. And she's like, no, but my dad's going to be so disappointed. He's like, oh, I didn't know that. If you had just said that, I wouldn't have turned him in.
That was terrible.
It was horrible. Like, if you would have
that.
just stopped and listened to her, she was pleading with you to stop.
But at the same time, as if she would have just said what was on her mind, He would have been totally fine.
Well, if he were like, it's hard to be like, hey, I'm sorry, come back here real quick because my dad's going to disown me and blah, blah. Like, it's hard. Like, if he's that soft-hearted, shouldn't he have stopped and listened to what she had to say?
But there's a lot of times where she should have just came out and said what she said when she had the opportunity, but she never did, which pissed me off. I was like, just freaking speak your mind.
Well, they were, again, yeah, they didn't communicate very well when it served the plot.
Correct, yeah.
You know, like, yeah, why is he running away from her and she's trying to plead her case and he still turns into tickets because the movie needs to happen?
Yes. That's all you can give it.
The only reason for it. Logically, it makes no sense except the movie needs to happen.
If Wade was your boy and he came up to you and said, yeah, hey man, fire, you know, I met this fire chick, like literally made of fire, and you're like, well, we're made of water, we can't touch her. And he's like, yeah, but not only that, she's tried to kill me a couple of times. I think I love her. She's hot. And, you know, but she's fiery. She don't want to have nothing to do with me. And, you know, like, in other words, like, there's no part in this movie where I really felt the emotional trip to say, oh, you guys need to fall in love because you've gone through so much together. They didn't really have that. He just followed behind her. He got fussed. Like, here's the part for me where I was like, look, man, you need to get out of this. There's a part where she's with her parents, and there's this big ceremony, so he decides to show up, and they don't want him there. He's like, but I love you. Now, typically, in any other movie, they're like, yeah, you carry her away, boy. Everybody was like, yeah, we all hate this dude. And then she turns around and is like, I don't want you. I want you here. So he turns around and leaves. Look, that should have been the end. You don't come back from that.
No, you know what? You know what? He shouldn't have come back. And Rachel, I'm sorry for spoilers.
No, it's okay.
I was okay with the movie, whatever, until it got to the point where your boy it caught in the urn or whatever, the cistern.
Oh yeah,
freaking evaporated and like ostensibly died.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god!
And I was about like,
yeah.
Oh, Pixar's going there. Oh, I'm into this. Now, this is great. This is great.
I was taking that. Yeah.
And then when he started slowly coming back, I'm like, motherfucker.
And it was how he came back.
We don't need the freaking this happy ending. And my daughter turns. I turned to my daughter. My oldest was sitting right next to me. I'm like, God, why the freak did they bring him back? And my daughter's like, it's Disney, Dad. What do you expect?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Mom,
fair.
I'm sorry. They killed off everybody's parents in every single movie I watched as a kid.
That's true.
I found a way to deal with it and move on.
Thank you. Dude, if they would have killed off the main boyfriend, I would have been like, all right, I'm good with this.
Yes.
Because shit happens.
It does happen.
Yes.
The way the father was coughing all the time, I thought, well, he's going to die at some point too.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was expecting that as well, but
Didn't kill him
none
either.
of that.
Never died.
But
Never
the minute he
died.
started with condensation and stuff, and he started coming back, I'm like, he collected in the bucket. I'm like,
That's it.
oh,
I think
come on.
Yeah.
I think we solved problems with kids these days. They did not have to go through Disney movie trauma like we did.
That's true.
No, exactly.
Perhaps if they had to experience more traumatic cartoons, they wouldn't be so anxious all the time.
Hey, I remember being like traumatized when I saw Optimus Prime die in the Transformers movie. Cartoons can convey like real.
What about Duke? What about Duke?
Oh,
G.I. Joe?
yeah, Duke and G.I. Joe. That was a
Oh,
hard.
what
death.
was it? Was it Star Trek where Spock was caught in the? I don't know if you guys watched.
Oh,
it,
the
but-
Wrath of Khan?
Yeah.
Yeah, where he was dying. He
died,
And,
yeah.
and Kirk had to leave.
But when someone dies and it's a sacrifice that's made heroically to save somebody else, that's what puts them over.
Yeah, that's
know?
exactly
Yeah.
what I was hoping for. They were done with this, but no. But the came back.
He can't-
And
I'm
I was
with
I was-
you.
And if he didn't come back, I was happy. Like maybe okay, she could still run her dad's store, but also sell her glass art or something. Make the two worlds combine and do everything in honor of her past ex-boyfriend or whatever.
I thought it was going to be like when they had that silent part where she's like, oh, man, he sacrificed himself for me. I thought it was going where she was like, I'm doing whatever I want because life is finite. And he just showed me that. And that's where I thought it was going.
That would have been good too.
Sippy, him crying and falling out the ceiling and all that.
Condensation.
And all that. Like, look, if I'm still this girl's dad, I'm like, I'm sorry, Em, but look, you do not need to be with this dude. This dude is not going to back you up when times is rough. He going to cry his way through everything. He can't make it.
Yeah, I did not care for that kid whatsoever.
None.
He didn't. They did not do a good job conveying it. That's part of the problem with the movies. The movie's kind of all over the place. It starts. To me, I'm like, okay, it's a movie about self-control because she keeps losing her temper and she keeps blowing her stack and she's trying to figure out how to manage her temper and work amongst people that are pissing her off. But then it becomes kind of like a buddy film, and then it kind of turns into a rom-com, and then it turns into a movie about overcoming prejudices. I mean, it was just all over
That's
the
a
place.
lot.
Yeah. No, and not to mention like the whole immigrant thing. Like you're first born
Yes.
an immigrant. That whole thing you got to deal with.
And they're terrible heroes, by the way. They can't solve anything. The main thing that got me worked up was, I think like Danny said earlier, they had to fix this dam. They took 3 tries to do it, and they failed every time. Every single time. So much so to the point where their whole town flooded. And as a person from Katrina, I just hate seeing towns flood.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I
no
can
doubt.
imagine.
And here's this person made a fire. They couldn't even heat up the water that was flooding them to turn it into steam so they wouldn't die.
And the dude works for the city. It wasn't like they even put in a ticket to go fix it. Like, oh, what did she do? She sprayed some glass? It's fine.
Oh, but Danny, he sucks. He was about to get fired. So it doesn't really matter.
And then he turned the other people into submit because he was like incompetent or something like that. That was the other thing. There was a part where Wade says, "Oh, Ember, being with you, it changed my chemistry." I didn't see it. He didn't turn into nothing. He didn't become like a bigger thing of
Yeah,
water.
he's still H2O.
Okay.
Yeah, he was still the same person.
So that's one of my biggest problems with this movie is that the message seems a little bit dangerous. The message that they're trying to teach people out there, which is that it seems to be saying like no matter how diametrically opposed two people are to one another, even if being together is like hazardous to your health, no worries. People can just change their chemistry and make things work. And that's kind of a problem for me. Like the message just seems to be that people who are bad for one another can always be changed and made for the better if they just love one another. And it's like, no, like most of us encounter many bad relationships in our lives that we think are worthwhile, but then we find the right one. We realize, hey, look, those relationships, they were cool and I did care for these people, but that wasn't the right one. This is the right one because it works out well. And this doesn't seem to work to me as like a one-size-fits-all kind of message.
No, because like you say, in the beginning, opposites attract, but towards the middle and the end, opposites attack.
Yes.
No, but it doesn't matter
how it
because
works.
the mother predicted, saw it in their smoke, and they
Yes.
were destined
Oh,
to each other.
that scene was terrible. That was good and terrible.
The problem is it just kind of seems to justify any and every bad relationship one can have by, but I love him.
That's funny you say that because there was a part in there where she told her dad like, "Oh, well, it's just it's how it is, and this is how I feel." And like I was like, "Damn, I've gone through that with my own kid before."
I know,
and it still makes no sense. They can't even put any exposition on that statement. They just say, "I feel it." It's like, no, this man literally. Remember, he cried on her, and then like half her face was missing. It's like, come on, baby, you can't date this man. Half your face is gonna be
You gonna
gone.
die.
You gonna die. You gotta eat logs to survive to be with this man.
Right. It's one thing if you're making a movie like, okay, this is about prejudice towards fire or something like that. Okay, I get that. But when the elements are hazardous to each other's health, when each of the elements can kill each other and like no one really dies in this, but like water extinguishes fire, like half their faces go missing. And they have to start eating wood
Oh,
in
and
order
vice versa, yeah.
for it to go back. And the same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And so Ember accidentally burnt up, Wade.
Wait.
Yeah.
So like they're really literally horrible for one another, but that's my problem, man. It's like, man, this shouldn't be the message. It really shouldn't be the message that you're delivering to kids is that, look, if your parents disapprove of the relationship, screw them. What do they know? Do it anyway.
And you'll be on Dateline. That's it.
I'm okay with that to an extent, but it's like it's not. You still got to be smart about it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, let's be truthfully. I mean, there are Filipinos that are racist against black people.
Oh yeah, well there's black people basically. Yeah,
And vice versa kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And so it's like, yeah, you just got to be smart about it. And if it really is true love, don't just do it out of spite. I mean, that's where it goes. My point is like, if it helps people that are actually in love, truly in love, to continue on the relationship, then fine, so be it.
Well,
Go
see a
for it.
better movie. If you want to fall in love with somebody that's of a different culture or ethnicity or different class, see a better movie.
Well, Eli can tell you, as a father of a daughter who has dated people
I have not approved of.
that, and rightfully so,
A mixed child, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And has had to like kind of step back, and after saying over and over and over again, sweet, this isn't good, had to let that child make their mistakes before they kind of came to that realization themselves, and like, oh shoot, Dad, yeah, I messed up with this person.
And that always happens, right?
Yeah.
That always happens, right?
And trust me, she's not bowing to me in hopes that I bow to her and then we start over. She just says, "Oh, I made a mistake, and can you help me, pay my way out of it?" And, I'm like, nah, no thanks. But yeah, I think if you can get this message, it's definitely convoluted. It's definitely something where it's tough to enjoy.
There's a better way to get the message across.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Zootopia did the exact same message a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, sounds similar. I have a couple of questions. Well, like, I don't know if questions, but thoughts. So this movie, Elemental, has the same director as the Pixar movie, The Good Dinosaur, which came out quite a bit ago. I'm going to get the date. I have it right here. It was 2015. So about 8 years ago. I remember taking my kid, I had a young daughter at the time, and I thought she was going to love it. And we were all bored to tears. And so I guess I'm wondering, like, maybe he hasn't done anything since. This is like his second thing since The Good Dinosaur. And I don't know, like, if you've seen both, what do you think? Are they similar movies? Is it kind of a similar pace or?
No. Wait, okay. So the pacing of this movie is kind of all over the place, but it's so much more visually engaging. What you're seeing,
The technology is better now.
yeah, I would say if I had to choose between the two, and it's a tough choice, I would easily put this above The Good Dinosaur. I think The Good Dinosaur had a better message, whereas I felt like this movie is just more, what's the word? It's more acceptable to people to watch this.
More
I guess.
fun,
It's a lot more visually engaging. It's the concept,
Okay.
the city, and of
It's
it,
whimsical.
right. Whereas when you watch The Good Dinosaur, it feels lonely. Like when you watch it, you don't.
Yes.
It feels desolate. It feels empty. It feels So yeah, I don't know how this guy got another job after The Good Day, because that is really the first movie that was kind of recognized as like a Pixar flop. Was
Yeah,
The Good Dinosaur.
I agree.
So I don't know how he got the second one. But
Well, you know, it's funny about this. I might see this. I might see Elemental again. I haven't seen Good Dinosaur since I last saw it.
Oh, you can pass. It's not
Yeah.
great. My other thought here too. So the last couple of Pixar movies, or the last few, it was Lightyear last year, right? So the Buzz Lightyear kind of spin-off thing. Turning Red, Luca, Soul, Onward, and then Toy Story 4. And so I'm just like kind of going through that list, and I don't know, since Toy Story they've really had a hit.
No,
I would 100% agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that too. None of those I've actually. If the kids happen to have it on, I'll sit and watch it, but I'm not going looking for it on D Plus to watch it.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I believe Pixar is a kind of a dead brand at this point in time, and it's unfortunate, but I think they've kind of killed Pixar. Like nowadays, like you kind of made a point earlier, where it's like, you know, that was a Pixar movie, this is a Disney movie. You never used to have to say that before. Now they all kind of blend together for me.
They do blend, yeah.
And it's really kind of hard to distinguish one from the other. And I wouldn't be surprised if at some point they just say, screw it, it's all just Disney Pixar animation. Disney/Pixar.
I'm surprised they haven't done it by now.
Me too.
Right.
I just think that they've ruined that Pixar brand. Whatever cachet that the Pixar name had, yeah, that's gone. Whatever cachet, that has left. And again, the one thing that I think I can hold on to is I like the worlds that they create. They always seem to do a good job of coming up with worlds. They just don't really do a good job of telling stories anymore. Not engaging stories at all.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list of Pixar movies since then. I'll throw Incredibles 2 in there as well. But since Coco, which was, Incredibles 2 is right after Coco. Since Coco was the last one that I would, if it's on, I'm watching it.
Yeah, it's a near perfect movie.
If I had to pick something, I'm going to watch Coco. If I'm going to listen to a soundtrack, I'm listening to Coco or something.
I'll watch Onward.
Yeah.
I will watch Onward because I think Onward has some great visuals. I love the concept. I thought the plot was highly original. I've never seen that done before. I would put Onward up there. I just think it got a bad rap because it got released during COVID.
The pandemic, lockdown, and all that.
And everybody didn't go to the theater to go see it. Now, again, it's a very flawed movie, but
they tried. They
did.
tried
They
something
did.
different.
But
They did try.
Danny, since Coco, so it would be Coco for me, then Onward, then Soul. Those are the three movies since Coco, since 2017 November, that I would probably watch again for sure.
Well, that's the cool part about a really good movie, is that it has memorable scenes where you're like, oh man, that is a very defining thing that I can attach
Yes,
to.
great world, great story, great everything, great music. It's just, there it is.
And you have familiar parts, and he's like, oh yeah, I remember he said this and said that. This movie, Elemental, I'm saying, does not really hit that bar exactly where it needs to for that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
can I ask Rachel a question?
Yeah.
So I've never seen Lightyear. I've never seen Turning Red. And it's because anytime I've ever asked anybody, like, what'd you think? They're like, it's all right, I guess. Like, no one ever seems to be like, oh my God, you got to see this movie. What do you think is the best, say, 3 movies that Pixar's put forward within the last, it's been 5 years since Coco, I'd say?
Yeah, since 2017. Yeah.
Post Coco.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good question. I did see Lightyear. Part of it for me, like, these movies are tough for me because my kids are in that like Disney movie age, right? They're 6 and 11. And so a lot of these movies I would tell you that I like, but it's mostly just because my kids really like them and I enjoy watching my kids enjoy them. So like Luca, for example, my son really loved Luca and we watched it a bunch of times. And so like, I like Luca, but I think it's more because I like watching my son watch Luca. My daughter loved Turning Red. She's like the perfect age for Turning Red. She's that preteen age. So she really liked that. But so if I'm just thinking about mine though, my favorite movies in the last 5 years, honestly, there's not really one on this list that I like loved. I loved Coco. Coco was great. I was kind of disappointed by Incredibles 2.
Yeah, me too.
Same.
I loved the first one and I had really high expectations and it just wasn't what I wanted it to be. And then Toy Story 3 was so great. Like I almost like Toy Story 3 the best. With the daycare, yeah, Sunnyside Daycare was like so funny. Toy Story 4 was kind of a disappointment too, because I thought like it was rolled downhill from Toy Story 3. There's not a lot in this list that I really loved. I would say the last Pixar movie that I just totally blew me away was Inside Out. I loved Inside Out.
Really? You see, I liked Inside Out. I didn't love Inside Out, but I did like it.
But that one was ambitious.
It was.
It was ambitious.
I'll give it a shot.
Once again, great concept. I mean, conceptually, they're nailing it, but it's the follow through. It's like, what do you do with it? Once you put that concept out there, I feel like I've had like 4 or 5 ideas in my head that I'm like, oh, you could do this, you could do that, you could do that. And then when you watch the film and it's like, no, they just played it safe. They didn't really do anything with it. They really didn't flesh it out. Like they didn't shock me or awe me with where the story went, I should say. Having said that, yeah, no, I have no complaints about that. The Bing Bong scene was pretty heart wrenching. We were talking about that.
Yes.
We were talking about that earlier about Disney movies where characters die in, and I was trying to think about that, and I didn't say it out loud, but that's kind of where my thought process was like, who have they killed off? And I'm thinking of Bing Bong. Bing Bong got killed off. I'm thinking of, was it the Grandma Tala in Moana? And again, I'm doing Disney and Pixar.
Oh, Ray in The Princess and the Frog.
Oh, Ray and the Princess and the Frog. But that was a ways ago, huh?
Yeah, it was old.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were just talking about The Good Dinosaur. The dad dies in that one.
Oh, that's true.
I totally don't remember that.
Oh, wait. You know what? Coco, the abuelita, she dies. Like maybe not abuelita. The great-grandma.
Yeah. The great-grandma, yeah.
Coco
does that
dies.
count, though? Because he gets to go see them after.
Yes. That's true.
I don't know that counts.
That was a happy ending.
I could see that. It's a half a point on that one. I
Yeah, but
suppose.
still, the Ernesto de la Cruz twist that's pretty impactful.
Yeah, death kind of really didn't matter too much of that movie because you always just saw them.
Just get some Doritos, you good?
Well, I had one more thought. So my last thought is just looking at this recent list of Pixar movies. The only one on the list that isn't a sequel, so the only like original Pixar movie on the list in the last like 10 years that has anything in the parks is Inside Out. And so I'm wondering, do you think Elemental will have something in the parks?
Oh my God. I was just talking to this with our neighbor when we were going to, I was like, yeah, I wasn't a fan of that movie, but can I tell you something? I could totally see Disney redoing Living with the Land and making this. I mean, this is tailor-made for Epcot.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Elemental is tailor-made for at least old Epcot.
I was just about to say old Epcot because the other day I was just thinking, I was like, man, they're getting away from the edutainment aspect of things.
Yeah.
And it's
but if they can do IP, they'll put IP in any day.
Yeah, if they can do IP and maybe get some edutainment in there, absolutely, totally.
Yeah, but they'll only do it if the movie, gets over big.
It has to make money.
Yeah, it's got to go over big. I mean, shoot, we're still how far into it? And we've the best we got with Moana is the Journey of Water.
But yeah, I'm interested to see if they put stuff in the parks. I'm actually, now that I think about it, I'm actually surprised at how much Inside Out does have.
Yeah,
they have that big character meet in Epcot. There's always rumors that Figment's Journey into Imagination is going to become Inside Out. I think that is, something that's on the table.
I wouldn't be unhappy with that.
The same here.
They have that attraction in Disneyland on Pixar Pier.
I like that movie.
I tell you what, yeah, like why not do Inside Out in the theater? Like, the 3D movie theater that Captain EO used to play in.
Journey. Okay,
And then Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
Do like a
3D
sequel
movie
or something?
Yeah, a 3D movie with Inside Out, I think would work really well. I mean, especially
that would be cool.
appeasing all those people who wouldn't want to see Figment leave Imagination, which I can understand.
Right.
But Elemental in the Land, that just worked.
Dude, that's. I mean, you could replace that. You could even replace that movie that's currently there. Well, I keep saying Symbiosis.
The Circle of Life.
Yeah, that's the one with Timon and Pumbaa now.
Yeah,
it used to be
the name of it.
Symbiosis, but I don't know the name of it now because it doesn't stick with me.
Yeah.
I saw it once and that was all I needed. But they could definitely replace a movie with that and just have a little edutainment stuff happening.
Sure. I would 100% co-sign because I hate the idea that you need to make money on these movies in order for these movies to be attractions because some of the concepts are better than the movies themselves.
Yeah, and and who knows? Maybe the attraction version of the movie might be better than the movie itself.
Oh, that happens,
which
often.
would be totally great if this is the way Disney has to find original IP to put in their parks and make it better than anything else. Then so be it, right? Because they're definitely not doing it like they used to, where it's like you take original IP and you just throw it straight into the park.
Well, let me ask you this: would y'all be okay if they got rid of Living with the Land and put in like a? Rachel didn't even let me finish. I'm with you, Rachel. I 100% agree. But before I say, let's see what the other. Would y'all be okay if they got rid of Living with the Land, all the hydroponics, all that stuff, and put in an elemental boat ride?
All right. See, I was with you until you said get rid of hydroponics. I gotta have my hydroponics.
They could do it behind the scenes, but then,
I want to see the roots sprayed with. I want the hydroponics.
Well, okay. Well, if they could, maybe they have an animatronic Claude there to explain how things are growing, and all the hydroponics are coming out of his armpit.
Or maybe there's a train that just shoots the water on the roots.
Look, they can get rid of all the NASA stuff because they haven't done anything with that since then. I don't need to see you growing plants in moon rocks. They're like, okay, big whoop, great, and but totally, yeah. But I like hydroponics.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yes, but keep the hydroponics from me.
Yes, with the hydroponics.
Give me the hydroponics, man.
Eli?
Yeah, I would say it would be good to trade it out. It's visually elemental. That is, it's a visual masterpiece, so to speak, with all the colors and whatnot. So yeah, it's better to have something vibrant than just nothing at all.
I'll tell you another thing I was asking Eli about, and we even stayed for the credits to see it. Where was John Ratzenberger? Like
They hadn't put him in a while, huh?
Yeah, they just done with him?
I get either that or Ratzenberger's like, all right, this is not the same Pixar. I'm out.
Well, I mean, but they always used to refer to him as their good luck charm. I think they could use him right about now.
Yeah, he was not in that movie. Look what it did. That's a fair point.
I think maybe bring him back.
Yeah, he could have been a cloud or
Doorman. He could have been the Doorman.
He could have been Doorman. He could have been the uncle
the
of
dad.
the Klein family. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
There's a lot. Well, Rachel, hopefully we gave you some hope to watch this movie or some sort or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to hear how your kids do with this.
I'm excited to take them. Our summer is going to start next week. So I anticipate I will be taking them next week.
Well, Rachel, I hope you enjoy your experience with Elemental. If you have any thoughts when you watch it, we'd love to hear it and see what you think. And of course, listeners, we'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on this movie. If you've watched it and you've listened to our review, is there anything that we missed? Is there anything that we got spot on? Or you have an alternate take? Let us know, and we're about to tell you how to do that in just a little bit. Well, y'all, we hope you enjoyed that discussion about Disney Pixar's Elemental. If you want to learn more about us, go to magicourway.com. There you'll find our social media links, past episodes, and more. Plus, if you want to get in touch with us to share your opinions on this movie, you can do so through the following ways. First, shoot us an email at show@magicourway.com, or call or send us a text message that say text us at 1-815-MO-WEEKEND. That's 1-815
Mo Weekend
669-4226. And of course, we have a couple of people do things outside of the podcast. First of all, we got Eli, does things with comics. Eli, sir.
Yes.
What you got, man?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. You can visit me at www.ivorycomics.com. You can see all the work that I've worked on, 48 pages, fully colored. The only ad is for the Magic Our Way podcast. No one else. That's pretty much like double your money. If you're to get a Marvel or DC comic, they have so many ads. Very, very few content. You get all the content, one ad. And that's the ad that counts. So right there, okay. So what if I draw that? You probably ask yourself, Molly Be Damned, Project Geisha, and Savages. So you have those 3 books to choose from. There's a couple of issues of each. Again, get all that love right there. There's also blog posts, interviews. You get some of that action. There's always a link to the Magic Our Way podcast. So you never miss a beat, never miss a joke, you never miss a movie review, you never miss a travel, trip report, all that good stuff. That's all the synergy. That's how we do it right there. So please support the indie arts, www.ivorycomics.com. If you just want to reach out and say, hey, want to see how you're doing there, how about the social media as well? Facebook.com, Eli H. Ivory. As long as you're a real person, nice to meet you. But if your bot do not need to greet you, now they hacking stuff, I ain't got nothing to give you, okay? So just leave me alone. All right,
Even though our government agency has been hacked,
yes,
to dear Lord in Louisiana.
Oh, badly.
Oh, no.
And everywhere else. I don't know.
Badly. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, someone told me, like, well, I've changed my passwords and this and that. Like, look, but let you know the secret. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Does not matter at all. The bots, if they want you, they go get you.
So if Eli Ivory reaches out for you for a date, refuse it.
Yeah.
It's not the real Eli Ivory.
Yeah, not the real.
Unless you pay the Patreon, then you get a date with Eli Ivory. Doesn't matter.
I won't do you wrong through Patreon.
Yeah, you're right.
That's it. Project Geisha has a Facebook page here. So, yeah, you go to facebook.com/Project Geisha. Some people have done that. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Instagram, I post up the hearts and likes there. And also, like, whenever we have clips that we post through there, I put that in the story so you can have that to share and view as well. So, on Instagram, that's EIV504. And, of course, on Twitter, I can be found at Hancock10166. So if you appreciate the madness still, you are just bringing me the gladness. Thank you very much.
And Rachel, if I wanted to book a vacation in New York City, could you do that?
I could. Yeah, we just did one last February. It was great. We saw the Harry Potter stage show, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Did you really?
Like one of the top 5 experiences of my life.
My oldest one really wants to see that.
So good.
That is awesome. And look, guys, if you want to book a vacation in New York City to see the Harry Potter, the Cursed Child, you could do it with Rachel. Rachel, tell them how to do this.
Yes, so I can book in that case major hotel brands around the world. So not just in the United States, but any major hotel brand around the world. And cruises, and then, all your awesome theme park destinations like Disney World, Land, Aulani, Disney Cruise Line, Universal, you name it. I can help you get there. And I just want to help be your ally and your advocate as you are planning a really special vacation. Because vacations are not cheap, and you want to make sure that the money you're spending is getting you the experience and the memories that you're hoping for. And so that's where I come in. I try to help get that to be what you want it to be as much as possible. So I'm happy to help, and I'm at no extra cost to you. And in fact, not only is it not any extra cost to you, but it means that some of that vacation money that you would have paid anyway comes right back here to Magic Our Way in this fan community. So please reach out. You can get me at Rachel, RACHEL, at magicourway.com, or you can call or text me. My number is 978-432-WISH, and I would be so honored to help your family plan a wonderful vacation.
Awesome, y'all. And look, if you want to access all the information we just mentioned, go to magicourway.com/about us. Also, if you want to elevate your support of the Magic Our Way podcast, go to patreon.com/Magic Our Way. There you'll find 6 awesome tiers to support this show. Any way in which you can support the show is deeply appreciated. We also want to thank you for being a loyal listener, and we always love hearing from our listeners. All opinions are always welcome on the Magic Our Way podcast, so make sure you get in touch with us today. So, Mohicans, we say Kwaharini. My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
Magic out.